Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video, and today I have the privilege of sharing something dear to me. So I'm going to take advantage of it while I have the time. About precisely 2 years ago, I went through a rebirth, a baptism, so to speak, and I decided to study some information that I was curious about, that being the forefathers of human civilization. We use terms for them such as the angels, the Anuna, the Anunnaki, the gods. I had the time and the resources to dive into that kind of information, so that's what I did. I was also listening to Dr. Stephen Greer. I watched the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind documentary. I was also watching a TV series called The Man Who Fell to Earth, which is about the Anunnaki, even though they never actually used the term. There's a reason for that. If you look at what has been happening in media, there's been plenty of movies, TV series, and video games about Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, and Norse mythology, but nothing about the Anunnaki. There's a reason for that, which I might touch on that in my next video. But anyway, I was also experimenting with mushrooms that year for the first time to increase my level of psychic perception. I was already having spiritual experiences before I started using mushrooms, but that did enhance it. And I started to notice some more abstract and obscure things around me that perhaps only I can pick up on. And one amongst a few apparitions that I saw that year and following years was this image right here. This image right here. Hope it's not too far away or too close. As you can see, this is a double-headed creature. On the left side, we can see what looks to be the head of a leopard or a cheetah. And we can see that it's roaring. You can even see his teeth. You can see his eye. So on and so forth. You see, on the right side, we can see what looks to be the head of a dog or a bear. You can see the ear on top of his head, even though that's more subtle. You can see the eye, again, the nose. You can see the closed mouth. And you can see long hair on his chin, a goatee. And also, if I turn this image upside down, you can also see the head of another domesticated, well, this one right here is a domesticated land animal. Looks to be the head of a baby horse or an ox before it grows its horns. The mouth and the nose is pretty obvious, I would say. Hope y'all can see that. The eye, not so much, but you can still see a dot there, and you can see a few strands of hair on top of his head. And you might not be able to catch this on camera, but I can see, especially in person, I can see the outlines of people inside of this image. Only when I look at it upside down. The most obvious one is this woman dressed in a white robe. She even has a head wrap on her head. I can see her hairline. I can see the eyes, the nose, and the mouth pretty clearly. You know? Now, I'm sure the skeptic or the atheist will look at something like this and say, oh, that's just a case of pareidolia. You have an overactive imagination, man. It means nothing. Just clean up your garage. But for those of us who care about spirituality and base our lives around it and practice it, it would be foolish for me to ignore something like that. Especially when I think about the information that I was studying in my life around that time. It's not a coincidence. So, speaking of angels, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verses 5 to 14, there's a description of a class of angels called the cherubim. And that image would actually fit that mold. Not precisely, but it's similar. In the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verses 1 and 2, there's another description of a creature with multiple animal heads rising from the sea, even though that one has a bit of a more malevolent connotation to it. All right. So with that being said, the question is, why? Why did this come to me? Is that a reflection or manifestation of my own energy? Is it not? Like, what is the message? Is it trying to say something to the world? What is it trying to say? It's okay for me to share that image, but as terms of the message going into the future, y'all gonna have to stay tuned for the next video for that one. In the meantime, please keep your eyes open, all three of them. And if you come across something bizarre like this, don't just brush it under the rug. Spend some time with it. Study, reflect on it. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you will. Because it may be very well be holding a special gem for you. Things, if you spend time with a certain frequency of energy of anything, things will appear and attract themselves to you. That's just natural. Y'all know what time it is. In the meantime, peace. I'll see y'all in the next one.